We are diving deep into the world of dating an extrovert.
Ooh, exciting.
It's going to be interesting. And whether you're already head over heels for one,
Yeah.
thinking about taking the plunge, or just, fascinated by how different personalities work together,
Right.
we're here to break it all down. And trust me, you might be surprised
Yeah.
by what we uncover.
It's funny. We often think of extroverts as these social butterflies,
Yeah.
just kind of flitting from one,
Thing to the next.
event to the next.
Yeah.
Always the life of the party.
Yeah.
And while that can definitely be true, there's a lot more to it.
Okay, so let's unpack that beneath the surface stuff.
Okay.
One of the sources we have for this deep dive goes right into the science, talking about how, for extroverts, social interaction isn't just fun, it's an actual neurological need.
Interesting.
It's like their brains are wired to get a hit of dopamine
Wow.
from connecting with others.
Fascinating.
Isn't that fascinating?
It is. It is. Think of it this way.
Okay.
For many extroverts, being around people, it's not draining.
Right.
It's actually energizing.
Really?
Yeah. It's like their batteries are getting recharged by those interactions.
Wow, so it's not just some, pop psychology idea.
Right.
This is
It's real.
backed by, how their brains respond to social stimuli.
Yeah, actual research.
Okay, so if you're picturing a quiet night in with your extroverted partner, maybe think again. Our source here is pretty clear. Be ready for a full social calendar.
Yeah.
We're talking parties,
Yeah.
events, meeting tons of new people. It's all part of the package.
It's all part of it.
Yeah.
And, the key here is to not just tolerate it,
Right.
but to actually embrace it. Try to see it as an opportunity to kind of experience the world through their eyes, right?
Right.
You might be surprised at how much fun you have stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest, as someone who enjoys a good dose of solitude,
Sure.
the thought of a nonstop social world does make me want to take it
That's
in.
understandable.
Yeah.
It's really important to remember that, introversion, extroversion, it's a spectrum.
Right.
Even the most outgoing extrovert
Yeah.
has moments where they need to recharge alone.
Okay.
It's not about being on all the time. It's about finding a balance that works for both of you.
So respecting that need for alone time,
Yes.
even amidst all the social buzz, that's crucial.
Very important.
And speaking of respecting needs, our source really emphasizes the importance of communication in these relationships.
Oh, absolutely.
That's super important.
Yes. And not just any communication.
Right.
Clear, direct, honest dialogue.
Okay.
Extroverts often process their thoughts and feelings by talking them out.
Right.
They're not big on hints or reading between the lines.
That makes a lot of sense. I once had this huge misunderstanding with an extroverted friend because I was trying to be subtle
Oh, no.
about something that was bothering me, and they totally missed the point. It was, I learned my lesson about directness that day.
That's such a classic example.
Yeah.
And it highlights why active listening is so important.
Okay.
It's not just about hearing the words, it's about really understanding the emotions and intentions behind them.
So it's like learning to speak each other's communication language.
Exactly.
Right. Being able to express your needs clearly
Yeah.
and understanding how they express theirs.
Yeah. And sometimes that means challenging those assumptions we have about extroverts.
Okay.
For example, one of our sources tackles this misconception that extroverts are somehow less capable of deep, meaningful connections.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just because they have a wider social circle.
It's more common than you might think.
Huh.
But it simply isn't true. Having lots of friends doesn't diminish their capacity to love and care for their partner.
So it's about trusting the relationship and understanding that their social energy is a part of who they are, not a threat to your connection.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's interesting because that same source also talks about
Yeah.
how important it is for both partners to have a sense of independence.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even in the most loving relationship.
sure.
You don't want to lose yourself.
You can lose yourself, exactly. And for extroverts, that often means having the space to pursue their own interests and passions.
Okay.
They thrive when they can bring those experiences back into the relationship.
It's like that saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes.
A little space can actually breathe fresh air into the relationship.
I love that. And you know what else is interesting? That same source talks about how this need for independence ties into their love for spontaneity and new experiences.
Okay, I got to ask.
Yeah.
Are you the type of person who loves a last-minute adventure? Or do you need to have everything planned out in advance?
Right.
Because if you're dating an extrovert, you might want to loosen up a bit.
A little bit. Be ready for anything.
Like what?
Impromptu road trips, trying that new restaurant everyone's talking about, maybe even taking up a new hobby together.
So it's like the relationship itself becomes this journey of exploration, pushing each other out of those comfort zones.
Exactly. And that can lead to some amazing discoveries, both about the world and about yourselves.
That's awesome.
But, of course, even with all this excitement, conflicts are bound to happen in any relationship.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm curious to know how that plays out when you've got two different personalities navigating disagreements.
Well, according to our sources, one thing's for sure.
Okay.
Extroverts aren't afraid of a little confrontation.
Oh, really?
In fact, they tend to prefer direct, open communication when it comes to conflict.
Hold on. So does that mean they're just going to, like, blurt out every little thing that's bothering them, no matter how small?
Well, it's not always that simple.
Right.
But in general, they're not the type to let things fester or avoid tough conversations. They see conflict as an opportunity to clear the air and move forward.
I can see how that could be both refreshing and a little intense, depending on your own communication style.
It could be.
I'm guessing there are some specific strategies for navigating those disagreements effectively.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we'll dive into after a quick break. Stay tuned.
All right, we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back and ready to tackle this, tricky terrain of conflict resolution when you're dating an extrovert. Before the break, we were talking about how they tend to be pretty direct, which I imagine could be a bit jarring if you're not used to that kind of communication style.
It definitely can be.
Right.
But the good news is that this directness can actually be a huge asset in a relationship.
How so?
Extroverts often see conflict as an opportunity to just clear the air, address the issue head on, and then move on.
Right.
No grudges, no passive aggression.
Oh, wow.
Just honest dialogue.
Okay. I'm starting to see the upside here.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking about those of us who might be a little more like conflict avoidant.
Sure.
Any advice on how to approach those conversations constructively?
Yeah.
Especially if you're not naturally inclined to, jump into the ring.
That's a great question. And one of our sources actually offers some really practical tips.
Okay.
First and foremost, don't shut down or withdraw.
Right.
I know it can be tempting to kind of avoid those tough conversations.
Yeah.
But engaging in the dialogue, even if it feels uncomfortable at first, is crucial.
So it's about finding that balance between honoring your own need for space and being willing to meet them halfway in that direct communication style.
And remember, even though they might be direct, it doesn't mean they're not open to hearing your perspective.
Okay.
In fact, one of the things extroverts really value is authenticity. They're drawn to people who are genuine and comfortable expressing their true selves, even in the midst of disagreements.
That's so reassuring to hear.
It is.
Like, you don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. Just to make the relationship work.
Absolutely not.
That's good. That's good.
And speaking of authenticity, another source we have delves into this fascinating idea that extroverts are often attracted to a sense of optimism and positivity.
Interesting.
It's like they gravitate towards people who can match their own, energetic, upbeat approach to life.
I could definitely see it's like their enthusiasm is contagious.
It is.
Like, who wouldn't want to be around someone who brings that kind of bright energy to the table?
It's true. And that's not to say that you have to be happy-go-lucky all the time.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone has their ups and downs.
Exactly.
But being able to appreciate the good things in life, even amidst challenges, can create a really wonderful dynamic with an extroverted partner.
I'm starting to see why so many people are drawn to this idea of dating an extrovert.
Yeah.
It sounds like a whirlwind of adventure, connection, and personal growth.
You got it.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's one more point from our sources that I think really captures the essence of what makes these relationships so special.
Okay. I'm all ears. Tell me more.
It's the idea of actively participating in their world, sharing in their passions or hobbies, their adventures, not just being a spectator, but a co-pilot on the journey.
I love that. I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's like stepping into their shoes and experiencing life through their lens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whether it's, trying a new sport, going to a concert, or even just exploring a new part of town.
Right.
Those shared experiences can create such a powerful bond.
It's about more than just like tolerating their interests.
Yes.
It's about showing a genuine curiosity and enthusiasm for the things that light them up.
Precisely. And those shared moments of joy and discovery can become the building blocks of a truly fulfilling relationship.
This has been so insightful. We've covered so much ground from embracing their social energy to navigating conflicts and appreciating their zest for life.
Yes.
I'm feeling pretty optimistic about the possibilities of dating an extrovert.
Me too. And you know what? As we kind of wrap up this deep dive, I'm struck by this incredible synergy that can happen when two different personalities come together, each bringing their unique strengths to the table.
It's like those complementary colors.
Yes.
They create something even more vibrant.
Beautiful.
They're beautiful when combined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for our listeners who are currently dating an extrovert or maybe considering it, I encourage you to embrace the adventure. And for everyone else.
Right.
I hope this deep dive has sparked some curiosity about this beautiful tapestry of human connection.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And to leave you with something to ponder.
Yes.
I have a final question for you, our amazing listener. If you were to plan the perfect date for an extrovert, what would it involve?
Ooh, good question.
Share your thoughts, experiences, or even those burning questions you still have with us.
We'd love to hear from you.
We do. We love hearing from you.
And remember, the most important ingredient in any relationship is that willingness to learn, to grow, and to celebrate each other's unique strengths.
I love that.
Until next time.
Until next time. Okay, we're back for the final part of our deep dive. And I got to say, I'm feeling pretty energized.
Me too.
After that last segment.
Yeah.
Like we've really cracked the code on navigating this whole dating an extrovert thing.
Right.
It's exciting stuff.
It's interesting because so much of what we've talked about really boils down to core relationship principles.
Yeah.
No matter who you're dating.
That's so true.
Right.
We've been talking about communication, respect, understanding, finding that balance between togetherness and independence. I mean, those are essential in any healthy relationship.
Exactly. But understanding how those principles play out in the context of an extroverted personality can really make all the difference.
It's like you're getting that extra layer of like insight,
It's like having a roadmap, right?
Yeah, totally.
For navigating those unique dynamics.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, let's distill some key takeaways for our listeners.
Yeah.
What are the absolute must-remembers if you're dating an extrovert or thinking about taking the plunge?
Here's your cheat sheet, okay? First and foremost, embrace their social nature.
Okay.
Don't see it as a burden or a threat. See it as an opportunity to experience the world through their eyes.
Ditch the FOMO.
Yeah.
Jump into those parties. Meet those new people. Ride that wave of like their infectious energy,
And remember, even though they thrive on social interaction, they also need time to recharge alone.
Yes, absolutely.
Respect that need for downtime. Create space for them to be themselves.
It's not about being clingy. It's about understanding their rhythm. Now, this next one is huge. Communication is key.
Yes.
And we're not talking about, dropping hints. Beating around the bush.
No.
Be open, honest,
Yeah.
and direct.
Yes.
In your communication style.
Straight talking.
Extroverts appreciate that.
Yes, they thrive on those lively discussions.
Sometimes I think we overcomplicate communication.
Yeah, we do.
But with extroverts, it's often about keeping it simple and straightforward.
Simple, yeah.
Say what you mean. Mean what you say.
Right.
And speaking of straightforwardness,
don't
be afraid of conflict.
That's right.
Seriously, view it as an opportunity to understand each other better. Strengthen that bond.
It's not about winning or losing.
Right. It's about
working
through those bumps in the road together.
Exactly.
Right. And while we're on the topic of challenges, Embrace those opportunities. So step outside your comfort zone.
Yes.
Support their passion for new experiences.
Be willing to try new things.
Let go of the need
Right.
to plan every single little detail.
Yeah.
Who knows? You might discover a hidden passion or talent
Exactly.
that you never knew you had.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And finally, and I can't stress this enough, be yourself.
Yes.
Authenticity is magnetic.
It is.
Especially to extroverts.
Especially.
They're drawn to genuine, confident people.
Yes.
Who bring their own, unique
Right.
perspectives and quirks to the table.
Quirks. Yes.
Don't try to mold yourself into something you're not.
Oh.
Let your true colors shine.
Let them shine.
So well said.
Thank you.
You know, as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm left with this, feeling of excitement. Wow, exploring the world of dating an extrovert is this incredible adventure.
It is an adventure.
Full of energy, connection,
Yeah.
and endless possibilities, really.
I feel the same way. And it's a reminder that sometimes the most rewarding relationships come from embracing those beautiful differences.
And make us unique.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, and on that note,
yes,
I have one final question for you, our amazing listener. If you were to plan the perfect date for an extrovert, what would it involve?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I know, right? We'd love to hear your ideas, your experiences.
Yes.
Or even just those burning questions you still have. Because ultimately, the most enriching relationships are those where we're constantly learning, growing, and celebrating each other's strengths.
Exactly.
Until next time.
Until next time.